Hello, this is Chris Wilson with MVP Minds and the University of Winners, and in this video I'd like to teach you how to maximize our program. And the first thing we're going to do is teach you how to read. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but I wish I learned this technique when I was in high school. Hello, my name is Chris Wilson with MVP Minds and the University of Winners, and in this video our goal is to teach you how to maximize this program. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to read. And I know this sounds crazy. We're not going to teach you how to physically read. We're going to assume that, of course. But we're going to teach you how to read a book to master the information, compared to what a lot of people do is they just read a book for entertainment. This is what I mean. The majority of people out there, they will read a book. And some people read a book every single month. But if you ask them, what was that book about, they can't really tell you. They can give you a general overview of what the book was about, but they can't give you the exact techniques in that book. And then if you ask them, what are you applying from the book, a lot of times they don't apply anything from the book. So what we want to do is we want to stop that cycle. We want to teach you how to master this information. And that's how we set this program up. We want you to master this information so you can apply this information into your schedule. Now, I've taken a book here, Think Like a Winner, and I'm just going to give you an example. The first thing you want to do is you want to set out your schedule. So, you're going to get your assignment for the week. Let's say your assignment for the week is 2 chapters, and you look at those 2 chapters, and let's say it's 30 or 40 pages. Let's say it's 40 pages long. So we have 7 days to read those 40 pages. So what you want to do is you want to break it down. You can say, out of those 7 days, I'm going to read for 4 days. So divide 4 into the 40 days, that's 10 pages a day that you have to read. Now, if you actually break things down and make it very simple for yourself, you'll find that you'll follow this program with no problem. But if you try, this is what the average person does. They'll cram everything into one session, and then they'll forget a lot about what they read. So what we want you to do is schedule the days that you're going to read in your book. Now, as you read, you want to get a highlighter or get a pen. I suggest you have both. And as you read and you come to a part that really means a lot to you, or you say, you know what, that's a good point. I think that's really good. I could use that. What you want to do is highlight it and then just keep reading. So I'll just show you. As I read through the book, if I see parts that I like, I highlight them. And I just keep going through the book. Some pages, there's a lot of highlighting parts on it. Other pages, there's really not that much. But I go through whatever your assignment is for that week, go through and highlight it. So after you highlight it, then go back and reread those 2 chapters, but just read the highlighted parts. Okay? Because what that's going to do is it's going to draw your subconscious mind to the most important parts that you, at that moment in time, that you feel are the most important for you. Okay? That's very important. Also, what I'll do is I'll put like double stars or triple stars. If I think it's really, really good, I'll write in the book. I think that's very, very awesome to do. Because now, if I ever pick this book up again, if I never wrote in it, then it's kind of hard to find my stuff. But now, when I pick this book up and I want to learn something about a certain chapter, I can just go and I can say, oh, that was a real important part right there. And, I can read the most important things in no time. And that's what we did with the instructor notes. So then you want to go, and when you read through the instructor notes for those 2 chapters that you're assigned, you'll see that we may have highlighted different parts than you have highlighted, and we have them in the notes because we're of different age, we have different perspectives, and you'll find that, see, when you read a book, if you read this book when you're 20 and then you read this book when you're 30, you'll find that you will pick different things out of this book, even though it's the same chapter and the words don't change within those 10 years, because you yourself, you change and you view things a little bit differently. So different things will pop up. So that's what's so effective about highlighting this yourself, going through it, then rereading the highlighted parts, and then comparing and reading the instructor notes. That's how you're really going to maximize your reading. Whereas if you just read, I'll guarantee, if you just read those 2 chapters and that's it and didn't do any highlighting, then you're just not going to get as much out of it. Because when you start to take your hand and you're starting to write in your book, now you have kinesiology. You have, that's another way that people learn. And what we're trying to teach you is a lot of different facets to get this information, because everybody learns differently. But when you write things down, you will remember them that much more rather than if you just read. So that's how you maximize this book. And the reading content, the reading part of it really is one of the most important things. And then when you start to listen to the audios, okay, after, so this is what I would do. I would go ahead, read it, highlight it, then read it again, just read the highlighted parts, read through the instructor notes, and then start listening to the audios. And if you have 3 or 4 days left to listen to the audios, don't just listen to it one time and say, hey, I completed my assignment. Listen to it as many times as you can. Listen to it while you're walking on the treadmill, while you're working out at the gym, while you're driving in the car, while you're going for a run, whatever it is. The more you can listen to it, it will get ingrained in your memory, just as when you listen to music. You hear it so many times on your iPod, or you hear it so many times on the radio, that a couple years from now, if you really enjoyed a song from 2 years ago, once that beat starts, you know every word in that song. And that's what happens when you read properly. When you listen to those audios, this information gets stored in your subconscious, because your subconscious needs repetition for it to really get ingrained. So that's how you maximize the program, that's how you maximize the reading. And the final thing you want to do, you see below this video, you can download an accountability worksheet. Now this is extremely important, and a lot of people, they really don't do much accountability in life, but really that's what really separates results from not results, is having an accountability partner. For instance, if you wanted to lose weight and you were going to do it by yourself, it's a lot more difficult. But when you have someone that's doing it with you, that's holding you accountable, that when you say, hey, I'm going to lose a pound this week, I'm going to eat better, and they're watching you and they're doing the same thing, then it's a lot easier to do it together, because you know someone's watching, and you know someone's going to look at your progress and look at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and help you out. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to give you a simple accountability sheet, and that's the key to accountability. It has to be simple. So you'll see this sheet is broken down into 7-day cycles. So it's a weekly sheet. You just print a new one. At the top, you just write what the day period it is, and then you go day 1. And it's very simple. What did you do on day 1? And you just write what you did in there. Well, I read page 2 to page 15 and highlighted it, or I listened to audio for 15 minutes and I read page 34 to 35. You just write it into the box. You put how much time you spent, whether you spent 15 minutes, 30 minutes in that day, or maybe 45 minutes or an hour. You can spend however much time you want, but spend at least 30 minutes a day, and then just put your initials. You'll see there's a column for your initials. Now you'll see there's another column. Whoever your accountability partner is, maybe it's a roommate in the house, maybe it's a parent, or maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a sibling, whatever it is, what you want them to do is say, hey, can you just go and look that I did something, read what I did, and put your initials? Because what that does is, when you do it and someone looks at it, it says, okay, they can read, and this is what you did that day, and they'll say, okay, and they looked at it. So when they put their initials, then you know that they looked at it. Let's say it's your parents. Now your parents can say, okay, they read about this, they did this, so maybe that night they can say, hey Johnny, what did you think about the audio you read last night? I saw that or the audio you listened to last night. I saw you listen to it for 30 minutes. What are some things you got out of it? Your parents don't need to know anything, but they can, just that little bit, you'll wait till you see how that will hold you accountable, and it keeps your focus every day on you spending time. Now with this accountability sheet, this is what you do. Put it on your refrigerator, because your refrigerator is one of the places that you go every single day. Everybody in the family goes every single day. If you have roommates, that's where they go all the time. So they see it. It keeps it in front of you every single day. And I'll tell you, when you get to day 5 and day 7, it really makes you feel good about all the time that you spent. And you're only spending 30 minutes a day, but I'll tell you, you'll be amazed at what you get out of it within that week. And then when you couple 1 week to 2 weeks to a month to 2 months, you'll be amazed at how much you're changing, and how with really just not a lot of time that you put in each day. It's just the consistency factor adds up, and the accountability factor makes you focus on what you're doing on every single day. So I hope this information helps you out, but really, read to master. Don't just read the book, because the only person you're cheating is yourself. Okay, you're not cheating us, you're not cheating your parents, you're cheating yourself in the long run. Do you want the most out of this program? Do you want to be the best? Do you want to be as successful as you can? Do you want to increase your potential as much as you can? If you do, then really put the time in for 30 minutes a day. That's it, I'm telling you. Do that and you'll find that you'll probably want to put in more, and that's okay too. But let's start with 30 minutes a day. So you guys have a great day. My name is Chris Wilson with MVP Minds and the University of Winners.